It has just been confirmed that Xavi Simons scored twice for Tottenham Hotspur, and it still wasn't enough. 2 stunning goals, a crowd on their feet, and somehow the Spurs walked away with just a point. Throughout this video, I'm going to break down everything that happened in that match against Brighton, the tactical details, the mistakes that cost them dearly, and the behind-the-scenes context you need to understand where this club is right now. But first, we need to talk about some news dropping out of Nottingham that could be a genuine lifeline in this relegation battle. So stay with me until the end, pay close attention to everything, and then tell me in the comments what you think about all of this. Now, let's set the scene. Tottenham are 2 points from safety and have not won a single Premier League match in 2026. Roberto De Zerbi came in with a clear identity and a plan, but results have simply not followed. The squad is stretched. Christian Romero confirmed out for the rest of the season, which is a massive blow to any defensive structure. There were some positives heading into the Brighton game. Rodrigo Bentancur returning to the squad and, somewhat surprisingly, James Maddison appearing on the bench. The relegation picture has now narrowed to essentially 3 clubs: Spurs, Nottingham Forest, and West Ham, with Leeds having largely pulled clear after beating Manchester United this week. Every point matters. Every dropped lead matters. And that's exactly what makes today's analysis so important. Let's talk about the match. Tottenham 2-2 Brighton at home. In a game where Spurs were the better side for long stretches, created enough to win, and still couldn't hold on. And the story of this game, without any question, is Xavi Simons. The Dutch midfielder on loan has quickly become the most technically gifted player in this Tottenham squad. His first goal was a thing of beauty, picking up the ball in the left half space, turning inside and chipping an inch-perfect pass to the penalty spot where Pedro Porro had ghosted through completely unmarked, glancing a header past Verbruggen and into the net. Then in the second half, after smart high pressing from Bergvall robbed Van Hecke of possession, Simons cut inside Wiefer and absolutely rifled the ball off the post and into the back of the net. He tore his shirt off. The crowd went wild. For a brief moment, it felt like something was shifting. It didn't last. Tactically, De Zerbi made some interesting decisions going into this match. Kevin Danso came in as a direct replacement for Romero in central defense. Bentancur and Bissouma were paired in midfield, and Simons got his first start under the Italian manager. For large parts of the game, the shape worked. The high press was organized. The transitions were quick, and Gallagher benefited from having more controlled players around him, allowing him to press and embrace some chaos without being exposed. The problem came in the second half, when Simons started to cramp and Spurs lost their main creative outlet at the worst possible time. De Zerbi used his substitution windows, but arguably could have saved the third one, specifically to replace Simons when he started struggling. That would have helped Tottenham absorb the pressure Brighton were building. He didn't, and Brighton eventually found their way through. The equalizer itself was the product of a straightforward defensive error. Van Hecke picked Danso pocket. The Austrian centre-back simply switched off, didn't track the runner, and left the space for the cutback to Rutter, who finished into the top right corner. It's been said many times this season, but the number of goals Tottenham have conceded because of individual lapses in concentration is staggering. Without Romero leadership and intensity at the back, those moments happen far too often. Now, to be fair, this is not a performance to be ashamed of. Brighton came into this with real momentum, pushing for Europe, and De Zerbi's former club is no easy opponent. Kinski had a strong game in goal. The pressing structure showed something. Simons showed everything. But the result is the result, and a draw at home in a relegation battle is not good enough. Part of the fan base is already questioning whether De Zerbi can actually turn this around in time. And honestly, my friend, that's a legitimate question. He's getting things mostly right tactically, but the margin for error is gone, and the points aren't coming. So now I want to know from you, do you still believe De Zerbi can save Tottenham from relegation, or do you think the writing is already on the wall? Leave your opinion down in the comments. I genuinely want to read what you think. Now, we need to talk about Nottingham Forest, because what happened to them this week could be a significant factor in how this relegation race plays out. Forest are currently 3 points ahead of Tottenham in the table and 2 ahead of West Ham. On paper, they are in the best position of the 3 clubs. But here's the thing, they also have the toughest run-in by far, and this week they added another layer of difficulty to their situation. Forest beat Porto to reach the Europa League semi-finals, which is a remarkable achievement, but they came through that match with 3 injury concerns. Chris Wood picked up a knock to the knee, Murillo took a knock as well, and Callum Hudson-Odoi, the most serious case, was spotted on crutches after the game, having appeared to clutch his thigh during play. Vitor Pereira confirmed after the match that Wood and Murillo should be available for the weekend game against Burnley, but Hudson-Odoi has a muscle injury and will not be ready in time. Now, I'll say this clearly, it's never good taste to celebrate when players get hurt. That's not what we're doing here. What we are doing is analyzing the competitive picture honestly, and the picture is this. Forest now face an Europa League semi-final against Aston Villa, a Midlands derby, across 2 legs, with all the pressure and intensity that brings while simultaneously fighting to avoid relegation in the Premier League. They are doing this with a depleted squad and a schedule that would test any manager in Europe. Pereira is experienced and knows how to manage a group, but even he acknowledged the challenge. He said after the Porto game that he needs to recharge like a Tesla charger, and that tells you something about where his squad's energy levels are right now. The real question is what Tottenham do with this opportunity. Because here's the truth, if Forest drop points over the next few weeks due to fixture congestion and injuries, and Spurs don't win their own games, it means absolutely nothing. The path to safety runs through Tottenham getting results themselves. The draw today was a better performance. There's no question about that. But a draw is a draw. The gap stays the same. The clock keeps ticking. De Zerbi needs to find a way to turn these performances into wins, and quickly. What gives Spurs some hope is that the squad is gradually becoming more available. Maddison on the bench is a positive sign. Bentancur back in the engine room adds control and experience. If they can keep Simons fit and build on the structure shown today, there is a team here capable of winning football matches. The question is whether they can do it before it's too late. So are you against or in favor of believing Tottenham can still escape relegation? Do you think the injuries to Forest and the remaining fixtures open a real door? Or is it simply too little too late? Tell me here in the comments, I'll be reading every single one. See you in the next video.